Forager is a brilliant survival game in which you're transported to an island with just a pickaxe and one goal in mind: to become the richest and most skilled prospector in this magnificent open world. However, this journey won't be without danger, as Forager is filled with monsters of all kinds and impossible to solve puzzles. These include giant skeletons, overpowered bosses, and mind-bending dungeons. Over the next 100 days, I'll have to face all these obstacles to become the richest prospector, and all without dying once. If I die, it's all over. So I found myself on an island with a few rocks and trees and nothing on me. Seriously, look at me. What am I? The first thing to do is build a furnace. So, let's do it. To build this furnace, I had to harvest stone. So I picked up my pickaxe and got to work. With the furnace, I now had access to different materials, like coal, bricks, iron, and gold. Later, I'd mined so much of everything that my energy was low. In this game, energy plays an important role, as it's what allows you to harvest resources. To get it back, you have to eat. After a quick mining session, I finally passed my first level, which took me to level 2. A new level means one skill point. At the start of the adventure, you can choose between 4 aspects to develop: industry, foraging, economy, and magic. I chose magic because it allows me to gain experience more quickly. On day 2, I was able to build a forge. The forge is important for improving your pickaxe, as the first one you have is really rudimentary. I quickly gained 2 levels, developing brilliance and industry. I made some fish trap to have fish and not run out of energy. Then I destroyed so much of what was around me that the island became deserted. But don't panic, everything grows back, yes, even the rocks. I also reached level 5, unlocking foraging. With the gold I'd collected, I was able to make coins and buy my first land extension. In the game, money allows you to buy new islands. I was now faced with my first puzzle. Simple enough, but they'll get more complicated as time goes by. When you solve a puzzle, you win a huge chest. To open it, I needed a key. In the chest I found the geeky glasses that gave it a special style. Look at this. I'm so charismatic. I bought a new land with a giant chest in which I found some weird vampire wings. This made my style even better. No? During that day, I made the discovery that would change my life forever. Are you ready for my discovery? A cow. It's awesome. On day 5, I spent the day mining and collecting all sorts of things to gain experience. By the end of the day, I was seriously running out of room in my inventory. I've upgraded my pickaxe to mine a little faster. As the game progresses, you can upgrade your tools more and more to farm faster. I'd been noticing fireflies at night for a while, so I decided to imprison the poor bug in a bottle. Please, forgive me. I've been able to unlock the market and sell the resources I collect. This will help me earn coins more quickly. I noticed that a second cow had arrived on my island. Animals are like plants, they respawn. And just as well, because I needed leather to build the market. So I savagely murdered them. I know, I'm a monster. On day 8, I unblocked the banks because capitalism is my life and I'm constantly looking for ways to earn more money. This enabled me to buy a new plot of land. And obviously, it was inhabited by creatures that were best avoided. But I took my courage in both hands and went into battle. And I won, of course. There was also this strange rock. It will come in handy later on. I spent all of day 9 gathering resources. After killing a few cows, I was finally able to make the market. The hard-earned money enabled me to unlock 2 new islands. That's how I found my first NPC. He seemed to be waiting for someone.
The natural resources are being exploited by little jerks with pickaxes.
Oops, so he asked me to bring 2 torch bugs. On the other land, there was a strange building. In it, another NPC talked to me. This building is an incomplete museum that needs to be filled with various elements from the game. I think that's for later. Day 11, farm. Day 12, I found a weird big beet. He seems to like me but not for long. They still love me. I can kill them and keep their love. What pure creatures. But I'm a monster, don't forget. I want your food. I brought the lights bugs to the NPC, but now he demands 3 saplings. I don't know where to find any yet. The druid gave me that, so I want to test it. Maybe I shouldn't have. Now I'll have to spend the whole day cutting down trees. I bought a land with a beautiful randbow which seemed to be an enigma, but I postponed it. Money was flowing in, so I was able to buy 2 new islands, one with a building and the other with a giant ferry. She wants 1,000 gold coins. I think I've found someone even more capitalist than me. On day 15, I explored the building, which turned out to be an enigma. I couldn't figure it out, so I put it off too. I was able to get the shovel, which made it easier to dig holes, find sand, and plant seeds. I concentrated on the desert temple puzzle and found the solution. When you solve a puzzle, you win a medal and an orb that increases your stats. When I reached level 17, I was able to unlock the swords. I could now defend myself more effectively against enemies. I waited until nightfall to return to the giant fairy, as she only appears at that time, and gave her her small contribution. In exchange, I now had my health regenerated. On days 18, 19 and 20, I spent my time gathering resources. It's still a farm game, so I had no other choice. My style really left something to be desired, so I decided to change to a more professional style. Look at me, I'm so handsome. A new island, on which I had to face skeletons straight from their graves. It was one hell of an epic battle. With their bones, I was able to make my first sword. I created the windmill to start growing resources. I was able to make the tree saplings and give them to the druid, but he still didn't have enough, so he asked me to bring him a dinosaur egg. I suppose that's for later, as I've never seen one. I made myself a pretty wheat field next to the windmill. So cute. I finally made myself some storage to alleviate my inventory space problems. I was able to sort through my stuff. I concentrated on the rainbow puzzle and it was actually quite simple. I earned an orb for my stats. I bought a new land with a sign on it. I made a new pickaxe that could set fire to resources, making farming easier. Increasing your farm speed is so satisfying in this game. I found a princess. She obviously had a high opinion of herself. I made more banks to make more money. I never forget my goal of becoming the richest. As you know, money sometimes requires doing atrocious things. So, I burn cows. Sorry. I bought a new island with an easy puzzle that requires the various gems. I was able to build the bow that allows me to fight at a distance. I decided to do the opposite of what the sign said and dig under the flowers. Look at this. There are so many gems. I got to know this strange character who doesn't seem to be right in the head. He asked me weird questions that didn't make any sense. I spent 2 days exploring and completing this dungeon. I had to take down this giant creature to do it. I unlocked the flower press, allowing me to build squares of land to modify my islands. I met this person who gave me poop and wants a golden egg in exchange. What an honest deal. I finally unlocked the mining rod. This makes farming much easier by making it automatic. I unlocked a new island on which I fought with this giant skeleton. If only I knew what was in store for me in the future, I wouldn't find it so huge. More rods. I've unlocked the amulets. I found this animal that gives gems when harvested. I've unfrozen this chest. During day 42, it was harvest and sell to get more gold and buy new land, so I was able to buy this island with a wizard on it. I broke into his house to steal his wardrobe and found the secret room where he had gems. Don't forget, I'm a bad guy. I spent a day looking for the plants he asked for. I looked at the achievements. They allow you to earn cosmetics by doing certain tasks. I spent a whole day in the hope of finding rare items for the museum. But they're rare for a reason. I found this puzzle impossible and quickly gave up. However, I broke a few skeletons and hunted insects to improve the shovel. I spent day 49 gaining experience to unlock the capitalism aspect. I was seriously starting to run out of production, which made me very unproductive. So I put in more furnaces and a factory. I met a new NPC who seemed to have problems with skeletons. I made more and more bank. I bought a new island with this puzzle. By day 54, I was beginning to take an interest in magic. Yes, I know, it's late. There's still a whole part of the game I haven't discovered yet, like potions and scrolls, which will be very useful later on. I spent all day trying to figure out how to do the puzzle, and I finally found the solution. Can you find it too? All the clues are in this video. Write it as a comment. I discovered this new island with traps protecting the chests. I'd been looking for a way in all day, but finally decided to force my way in the next day. I spent 2 days wandering around this dungeon, which turned out to be a giant labyrinth with skeletons in every corner. Once inside, it's impossible to get out again until it's finished, because you get so lost that you forget where the front door is. During days 60, 61, 62, 63, and 64, I spent my time gathering resources and buying new less interesting islands. I was also able to upgrade my shovel, giving it a much wider field of action. I found this strange stone in which you had to put a flower to win a chest. I built the power plant to increase my production. As you know, I'm a monster. I don't say it enough, so I wanted to try to kill one of the gem-giving creatures, and guess what? The game has planned a success for this. On day 67, I discovered the lighthouses. These buildings that we unlock towards the end of the game are extremely useful because they multiply the number of items that are picked up. On top of that, they can accumulate more and more results. I played a nice music to complete this puzzle with bells. As I had become quite rich, I could buy islands and chains, and puzzles were more frequent. I found myself faced with this puzzles with binary numbers. I'm not going to lie to you, I cheated a little for this one. I found this cave entrance a bit strange, so I took my courage with both hands and entered. I found myself in the cave where I had to clear my way with rays capable of thawing the ice. I spent 2 days there. I finally managed to reach the end of the cave where the ice wizard was waiting for me. The next day, I fought every monster I could find. I needed to feed my murderous drive. I also found this fox who needed poop. Apparently, it was a matter of life or death, so I brought him. On day 73, I met again a new NPC. At first I thought there was nothing on this island, but as I approached, he tried to scare me. He needed me to become an even more terrifying ghost. I brought some scrolls to the museum to advance it a little bit, but I'll take care of the museum later. I bought new islands, including one with a shrine. It allows to have some boosts for a while. They are craftable if we unlock the skill. I spent 2 days exploring a new dungeon in which I had to face this giant demon. An overwhelming victory, of course. I was slowly coming to the end of the challenge. I only had 20 days left to finish the various goals I had set for myself. I wanted to reach the maximum level that would allow me to unlock all the skills as well as finish the museum by finding all the rare objects. So I had to find a way to gain a lot of experience in a short period of time. The experience is gained through several things such as farming, fighting, or the production of materials, but I decided to gain my experience in another way. Indeed, at some point in the game you can unlock the ability to gain experience by selling items on the market. So I had to find a way to sell a lot of items to get the experience. I've presented this building before, but we went over it a little bit. The lighthouses. I built an area around which I placed several lighthouses, and look at this. Look how much sand I'm able to pick up with a shovel. It's amazing. But still not enough. I spent several days destroying skeletons, taking advantage of my physical superiority as a monster. I killed, dug, and then sold to get up to level, but it was still not enough. I needed something more. That's when I decided to build an island around which I would put even more lighthouses, but for that I needed the tools that can destroy squares of land. So I had to farm even more materials to be able to build it. I unlocked the shrines and built several more, accelerating my progression. I continued to gather resources for 5 days before I could improve my equipment to the maximum and build the tools to destroy the ground. I made my island surrounded by lighthouses and started digging. Look at all the sand I can harvest at once. I was able to reach the maximum level and unlock the last skill. I spent the rest of the 100 days completing the museum, so some items are hard to find. And here I am at the end of this extraordinary challenge of spending 100 days in Forager without dying. I reached the maximum level and completed the museum. That said, it is important to note that since then, an update has added a lot of new content. So there is still a lot to discover if you want to test the game. It was an amazing adventure and I loved building you and telling this story. If you have more, like the video and tell me in comment which game you want me to do an adventure of this kind, because this is only the beginning. Your support is important and goes straight to my heart. Thank you.